All right. Welcome back. It's your boy MH Blackwell. In this video, we are going to talk about Donald Trump and his plan, Project 2025, and what it means for people like me and people like you. I myself am on the fence about which way I would go if I'm going to vote for either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. So Project 25 was introduced to me in a conversation as something that I need to be worried about, an evil plan from Donald Trump that is going to lead to I've heard things as the end of democracy, right? All of that type of stuff. So, I'm a curious person and I want to know what I want to develop my understanding of Donald Trump, the evil Donald Trump, better. So what did I do? I researched Project 2025. I found out that there are actually training videos out there that have been leaked from the Heritage Foundation or whatever organization it is that actually received the funding from them to do Project 2025, the transition plan. So I sat in on the training and I listened to what they had to say. And I had worked in government before at the local level. I've worked in government at the federal level, never worked in government at the state level, but they all kind of work very similar with one another. And let me tell you, I can understand why a lot of people would be very, very, very afraid of Donald Trump and this particular Project 2025. I do not think, however, the black people really should be one of them. That's the take that I have on it. I ain't that worried about it. And in fact, I listened to it and I got to tell you some of that stuff that I listened to. Now, mind you, there's 19 hours or so of training materials. I might have sat through about 4 or 5 of them, about 4 or 5 hours of it. After I looked at certain areas and I saw the commonalities in the training methods in different modules, because of the 19 modules, I think I went through, 5 or 6 of the modules. So, and some of them are longer than others. But so, I kind of got a semi training on Project 2025 and I listened to the Democratic I have to believe they're Democratic lawyers who gave their reaction to it. Now, I have to tell you that being a lawyer is and her having a legal education or having dealt with legislative protocols or dealt with legislative affairs could really help you understand this better. But if you've basically dealt with any type of project plan that is laid out there, if you work in information systems, or if you work in city planning, or you work in construction, you got a project plan. You have a beginning, you have an end. Oh, transition plans are very normal things. You do a transition plan, and this is what is called Project 2025 transition plan. You see these all the time. Every time a mayor gets elected, governor gets elected, president gets elected, it's not a very unusual thing. So to read it, I was like, okay, now what does it mean specifically to me in the interest group that I'm in? And I have to tell you, man, I noticed a problem for if Donald Trump wins, which I think he probably will. There's a problem, right? And it made me understand. Okay, see, I understand now why there's so many new black conservatives that are kind of irritated, because to the extent that we are falling sideways of this Project 2025, and I don't doubt that we would fall sideways of it without this, but as is, we're in this bucket. Black people in this Project 2025 are pretty much bundled in with LGBTQ, abortion, and all kind of other things that black people may or may not agree with individually, may or may not agree with. But if you look at the examples that were used in this Project 2025 document, most of the examples that they used around diversity, equity, and inclusion and all of that really dealt with gender and LGBTQ. I don't think that there was any direct mentions of things related to Black Americans specifically. That was where the ire of their eyes were in that particular area, in the particular training that was that addressed those issues. Now, what did the plan do in detail, and why should certain people be more worried than other people? Well, for me, the way that I look at it is, number one, this is a great plan. Like, I may not agree with the goals that they're trying to reach, but I have to tell you that is literally a step-by-step plan for when a political appointee, who's somebody that is named and asked to work by Donald Trump or Donald Trump's administration, goes in to do their job at a specific agency. How can they get their job done? And they give them a plan on how to do that. Number one, they explain the relationship in a very adversarial tone throughout all of the hours of training that I went through. Very adversarial tone about people they call careers. They also go into detail about the use of language and how language controls the thoughts of people. So we need to go in and make sure that we change all the language. And they lay out a process by which the political appointee can work with the career, who they understand is going to be very reluctant to do anything, what they need to do in order to make sure that happens, including reading everything themselves and being more than being able and willing to write whatever they need to write and do the work themselves if the career people won't do the work themselves. So, and then of course, those particular tactics, which are used to gain what they want, are then matched with the overall objectives that the conservative movement really has. So from a plan perspective, I thought it was very thorough. And I thought it was very enlightening about how you go about actually lobbying, because there was other areas related to lobbying. Now, the effectiveness of what they would be doing should be scary to people that are in this new wave of the thing who are in the eye of that storm with them, which again, a lot of it is around the gender, or a lot of it is around all of those conservative issues. And I do not doubt that issues related to Black Americans, if it was at the forefront of their consideration, may not fall sideways as well. But I'm going to tell you, man, I just, listening to how they described it, looking and reading Black Lives Matter and how Black Lives Matter basically married the Black community to the LGBTQ community. And I'm telling you, man, and then as a result of the LGBTQ community being connected with the different pronouns, and also they go very much into reproductive rights and, children and basically the development of their bodies and things that can be used to all of that. We are tied to that. And I'm telling you, man, I don't like it. I would love to be untied from that. Absolutely love to be untied from that. In a political sense, we are, because it's not Donald Trump and the evil conservatives that are tying us together like that. It's the Democrats that are tying us in there with that, tying us in with that. It is movements like Black Lives Matter that ties us in with that. Not as if they're not people that are members of both communities, or that one person's interest always has to be at odds with the other. However, as a actual group of people that are really trying to solve problems that have been systemic and been long lasting, personal, and social, personal, economic, societal, whatever, it's getting muddled in with that. It does not work towards the goal. I got to find some way to separate that. But anyway, but that particular movement, oh yeah, I can understand how they would think those people are based off what they actually want to do with the plan, the goals related to the plan. Oh yeah, they would try to wipe out all of that stuff. You're going to hear male, female. You're not going to hear all of those other, no. And again, I'm telling you, that's why they have such a strong position, because there's a lot of black people, a lot of people in that group that's getting bunched in that don't want to be bunched in that group. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. And we can have a discussion about Project 2025 if you want. Hit me up on Instagram. Deuces.